Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Man Up Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Russo, and today we're going to be diving into a recap of some of the NBA Christmas games and teams that played after that. But before we get into that, just a quick intro. Our co-host, Sean, is also on another podcast. It's called Everything in Moderation. It's about politics and current events and whatnot. So just wanted to say, go check that out. It's him and my good friend Christian and Eric and a bunch of other guys. They put up some good content that's not a bunch of idiots talking about sports like we do. But now that you're here listening and watching us, we're going to be idiots and talk about sports. Let's dive into the first game of the day from Christmas. The Heat beat the Pelicans 111-98. Jimmy Butler doesn't play too much. The Heat look really good. Zion plays well, but they don't get the win. I'm going to open the floor. What are the takeaways after that game for the Pelicans and for the Heat? And what do we say about Brandon Ingram? Because he's had two massive games, one at Christmas and one against San Antonio that got them a win last night. I'll open the floor.
We love this. So I just think after watching Brandon Ingram these last couple of years, he's an all-star. He looks fantastic. He could score, any way possible, gets inside, can hit the three. So nice. Zion having that addition. Honestly, Pelicans, I'm very, very optimistic on the Pelicans, very high on them. I think they'll slip into the playoffs this year. Lakers look like idiots for getting rid of BI, so it's pretty funny. Kuzma's horrible, so I'll let you guys continue.
I definitely, for the Heat, I was, obviously, first of all, Jimmy Butler's making me look like a moron saying that he's a top 10 player. So thank you, Jimmy Butler. But biggest takeaway for the Miami Heat, fantastic team basketball. It's balanced. It's not top heavy. There's good talent throughout the roster. I'm very optimistic that they're going to make a run in the playoffs, potentially make it back to the finals. Obviously, with Jimmy Butler back for the Pelicans, Zion with no minutes restriction, he looks great. Obviously, as Tom said, Brandon Ingram looks like an all-star. But the problem is that it's top-heavy. I think they need another player to really solidify that optimistic outlook going forward. But overall, good game, and I think that both teams look fantastic. So good for them.
Yeah, the Pelicans are looking up. Brandon Ingram is looking like he's very worthy of that max deal. We're going to move on to Warriors Bucks. The Warriors look horrendous. They still haven't won a game. The only good sign for them is James Wiseman. He's actually playing solid games, solid performances back to back. Middleton had a great game against them. They won 138-99 over the Warriors. But Connor, I'm going to bring you in here because me and you were very interested in this game last night against the Bucks because they played the Knicks. And they were supposed to wipe them out, and they end up getting
those assholes lost me money.
They end up getting turned over in the Garden. 130-110. So
I was talking to Matt Healy and Joe last night. I was like, if the Knicks win this game, I'm not a Knicks fan anymore. I'm becoming a Suns fan. They lost me money, but with the Warriors, Wiseman looks good. He's had two very solid performances for a rookie. Steph Curry doesn't look like Steph Curry. He's struggling a bit.
What else is new?
I'm starting to think that he's a little overrated in my opinion. But the Bucks, I don't know what happened against the Knicks. How they lost by 20, I have no idea.
It made no sense.
Yeah. But if you guys don't mind,
how the Knicks lost by 20 points,
or the Knicks won by 20.
They won by 20.
Yeah,
they beat the Bucks by 20.
Nasty.
Yeah.
But Connor, I want to build off your Steph Curry point very quickly for like 2 minutes. So I know Matt, was expecting MVP out of Steph Curry, which could still happen, still very early in the season. But as we can see, the man cannot carry a basketball team. He just can't do it. And I will continue to preach Klay Thompson makes Steph Curry. And that's all I need to say.
Yeah, I agree. With Klay Thompson on the court, it takes a lot of pressure off Steph Curry because Klay is their best defender.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Curry, I know Tom said it, and I'm in agreement. With Klay Thompson on the court, Curry could focus on his offense. He doesn't have to worry
it's
about
just
guarding the best point guard because Klay does that. He always guards like the best guard. And
plus Klay Thompson too. I mean, let's face it, he's as cash as Curry is when it comes to shooting the free ball and efficiency. So only having to worry about Curry, the team's just basically just got to double Curry, make him give up the ball. It's just it's so hard for him to get looks now.
Yeah, I said it once and I'll say it again. I think Klay Thompson is the most important player on that Warriors team.
Yeah, it's proving to be true. I mean, the Warriors are scratching their heads, and
still early
after the Bucks are as well, because they're losing to Tom Thibodeau and his band of misfits at the guard at an empty.
So it's like this third game. Don't worry about it.
It's the Knicks, okay? Listen, I'm a Knicks fan.
It's the third game of the season.
How did it feel to lose the future of New York, Obi Toppin, to an injury a couple games into the season? I know it's not a long one, but I just have to say that might be the most
the third game
I've ever heard.
Dude, why would they overplay him? Why and just rest him when they know that the goal is not to win anything this year? Why would they he's fine. He's got a little calf strain. They're giving him the old man LeBron treatment, except it's because they have no place to go, and he needs to, rather than ruin his career, sit and develop. It's going to be fine. The fact that they just beat the Bucks without him makes no sense, but it also means that they can win games without him. So it's perfect. It's perfectly fine. They're clearly going to be a well-coached team. Tom Thibodeau's clearly got them where they need to be mentally, because they're putting up numbers. But the Bucks and the Warriors are scratching their heads, and they don't know what to do. Moving on from them, we have the Celtics and the Nets. So I'm going to turn it to Sean as soon as I get these points in. The Celtics lose to the Nets.
Oh, my dear God.
123-95. And then after that, before we get into the Celtics, Sean, just to continue the Nets, they go to play Charlotte. Spencer Dinwiddie gets hurt. KD misses the last shot, but
LOL.
I want to go back to the Celtics because they continue to struggle a little bit. Sean, what can you take away from your favorite team?
I'm saying right now, the Celtics, I'm very surprised they lost last night. I'm a little surprised they lost by as much as they did to Brooklyn. And honestly, I was reading on ESPN earlier, save for a miracle three-pointer at the end of the game, Celtics would be 0-3 right now. I think they really are missing Hayward since they don't have a guy coming in. I'm sure Naismith will be that by the end of the season, but he's got to have time to grow. They got to be able to put it together with the guys they have. Tristan Thompson, they're not used to playing with a big man that can actually do something. I mean, Daniel Tice was great, but he's only 6'8". So Tristan Thompson, actual big man, they got to remember how to play basketball with an actual big man on the floor. And I think the thing they're really missing is that veteran leadership from Kemba. Without him on the floor, they don't really have a veteran. I mean, Jason Tatum, superstar. Said it before, I'll say it again. But until that team gels a little bit more, they still need that veteran Kemba. They're only 1 year removed from the Kyrie show, and that really damaged the whole team and the young guys' development. They need Kemba in there to stabilize that lineup.
Well, let's hope they can get it.
I love it, Sean.
Let's hope they can get 2-2 against the Pacers coming up tomorrow, the 29th.
Pacers are an underrated team. Watch out for them in the playoffs.
They are. They've been.
Well, listen, Matt, we got to point out here, right, that Kevin Durant missed a essential shot, and the entire leading up to the season, Kyrie's like, I finally have a player that I can trust to hit the last shot.
Yeah, so
could have happened to a better team. Nothing made me happier than seeing the Nets lose. I really hope they get destroyed this year. I hope they have a losing record. I hope they all shit the bed. They're the worst. Hate the Nets. And I'll root every game against them.
Dude, well, what it comes down to is we were going back and forth on this game too, and it's not even that KD didn't play well and Kyrie didn't play. They played well. It's just the fact that they couldn't the team as a whole, which maybe we have to, the depth is definitely in question now because they just lost Spencer Dinwiddie towards ACL. Maybe the depth of the Brooklyn Nets is in question a little bit because KD and Kyrie are not playing awful games, but they're letting teams like Charlotte and LaMelo Ball, who's got 5 turnovers and 6 points, like hang around. Like so, like to open it to everyone else, like are the Nets, is the depth that we thought they had, is that in question when they let teams like Charlotte Hornets hang around in games like this?
I don't know.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, go. No, Sean, take it away because I have a feeling I'm going to agree exactly what Sean says here. So
I don't think I'd necessarily say that the depth is in question. I'd say, like we were talking about a few episodes ago when we were previewing the games, the Nets have to learn how to play a whole different style of basketball than they did last season. They have KD and Kyrie now. It's not so team-centric. It's going to be, we have superstars. We have to use them. They need to learn how to do that.
yeah, Sean nailed it. That's exactly where I was going. I just feel like we clearly see Nets have a very talented all-around team, but it's a different dynamic when you bring in 2 superstar players and they become your number one option offensively. Teams start to kind of figure that out, and when you're not getting the ball as much, you're cooling down. You're not really finding your rhythm throughout the game. So the production, I think, around KD and Kyrie is a little off. I think the chemistry needs to be figured out, but we'll see what happens. But I hope the Nets have a horrible season.
Spoken like a true Knicks fan. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Now, specifically on Dinwiddie, Connor, I'm going to go to you here. Who needs to step up in his place, you think, in terms of that Nets squad, because he's pretty much their 6th man almost every game.
Well, I definitely think Karis LeVert needs to step up. I think he's going to have a more significant role. Players like Cabarrot, Joe Harris, Jared Allen, they all need to step up because Dinwiddie was an important part of that team, and with his injury, he's what is he, a point guard or shooting guard if I'm not mistaken, right? Shooting guard, yeah. So I mean, Joe Harris needs to step up because that's who Dinwiddie was in essence competing with, because they're both shooting guards. So I mean, I don't think it's going to affect them drastically, but I think it's going to affect them a little bit. They're going to need their bench guys to step up and take a more significant role on that team.
Yeah, I think you'll end up seeing them play a bigger sort of 5 consistently now, because the only shooter they can depend on is Harris, like, right? So you throw Harris off the bench, but then who you got after that? Not many people. So LeVert can't really shoot that well. He's more of a driving small forward. So you might end up seeing the Nets have a bigger lineup. You might be Jared Allen might be getting more minutes just because they go bigger with everything they do. But let's move on from the Nets and their heartbreaking loss against Charlotte. Because I'm sure I don't even pay attention, but I'm sure LeVar is loving the fact that his son beat KD and Kyrie. So let's move on to his other son's old team in Lonzo, the Lakers, steamrolling down the NBA with and without AD. It's looking like cruise control, guys. I mean, the Lakers, LeBron's load managing, AD's not playing games, and they're cruising right on by. I mean, is it Tom? How is it going so right even without AD?
Well, honestly, I think we can all agree that the Lakers only got better in the offseason. I think getting Marc Gasol was a huge asset to that team. Schroeder, honestly, is playing super well. Harold's playing great basketball as well. So I don't think as much this year. I don't think LeBron AD have as much pressure on themselves specifically during the regular season right now, because they have a really good supporting cast, and I'm not surprised to see the Lakers in cruise control right now. We said it all five of us agreed that we think it's the Lakers to lose this year. So it just looks easy for them.
Whoa. Did you just say all five of us agree that it's the Lakers to lose?
No, Sean did.
Oh, wait, all right, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Sean. I'll let Sean come in here.
What I think you guys are failing to consider as an option here is that the rest of the league is just letting the Lakers think they're really good and they're playing badly against them on purpose so that when the Lakers get to the playoffs, they get mollywopped. I think that's an important thing to consider.
Yeah. Someone's that was just a hot take. Like teams purposely throwing games.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Okay, so again, we reach another point in the podcast. It is the second time.
That's stretching it so much it might break.
Yeah, so that's another sequence where Sean has now. It's not even a hot take. It's just a bad.
Stupidity.
It's a bad. So let's not even. I'm not.
It's unfortunate for Sean.
It's unfortunate.
He is
But you know what?
Consistently on that end of the spectrum.
It's another sequence of hot take, bad take featuring Sean Olshford. So what are we gonna do?
Wait on it.
I enjoy the way that
I'll be raking in all the apologies.
when people are throwing games.
When the Lakers lose in the first round of the playoffs, I'm gonna be raking in apologies.
I do want to now that my connection is stable. I would like to add just for the Lakers. We're still in the Lakers Mavericks.
Yep.
The Lakers, I will 100% agree. They only got better. I mean, they're already engaging Schroeder extension talks. Marc Gasol is a more competent big man, can play a bigger role. He's a better shooter. Listen, but for the Mavericks, for the team that they have together, they're still down Porzingis. They are just not. They just don't have a lot of big name players, and they still. I know it was, what is that, 138 to 115, but I mean, for the talent disparity, they're really hanging with it. And
thank you.
Not looking at what they did to the Clippers yesterday. I mean,
51.
That is unprecedented.
They beat them by
That is
51.
unbelievable.
Right.
Because the Clippers just on Christmas Day took the Nuggets down in pretty significant fashion. So listen, I watched a bunch of that Lakers Mavericks game, and I was impressed with the Mavericks. I think they're well coached. I think they utilize the guys that they have, even though they're not all superstars. And I think the future is very bright in Dallas. Luka Doncic, future MVP.
Looks good over there.
Let me ask,
absolutely, Nick.
Are you on the Mavericks to the West Finals train?
Listen, they were going to be my quote unquote dark horse when we did our predictions, but because they were the seventh seed, I said they're not a dark horse. They made the playoffs last year. So I think it's extremely possible. I think the West has definitely shaken up this year. Obviously, we're going to see the Lakers, but honestly, the Clippers, fake. They're as fake as the Pittsburgh Steelers. Barely edged out the Colts yesterday. Not changing sports, but that's
we're gonna have to have some backroom talks on that one.
We're not gonna.
Absolutely. We're not getting into football right
now.
But
honestly, Mavericks look good. Yeah, Mavericks look good. Mavericks look good. And honestly, I really think they're playing well without Porzingis. Once you have Porzingis back, they're going to be very scary. I think they're going to have a big run in the playoffs. They're better than the Clippers. I've been saying that. I think they're better than the Clippers, in my opinion. The Clippers are going to choke again. Another team, I hope, lose all their games rest of the season. Them and the Nets, I just can't stand either of those teams.
I hate the Clippers.
It's not a hot take.
It's not a hot take. No, Tom's just like it's like almost it's not, it's a controlled rant is what it is. So you gotta give it some hype. But the Clippers, like Nick just said, got walloped by the Mavs.
Walloped.
But they did beat the Nuggets on Christmas Day, but they ended up getting walloped. But my question about the Nuggets, because they ended up beating the Nuggets, Nick. Jokic is balling out, dude.
I already addressed.
Top 10 player in the league.
He is balling. He is showing the haters that he is a top 10 player. So
I addressed this.
To you two,
oh yes, he is.
to you two who say Jimmy Butler and Russell Westbrook, I say ha ha.
All right. I will say this. as I've said for a lot of the things we've been talking about the last couple of days, it is only the third or fourth game of the season. So we have a lot of time for obviously Jimmy Butler to come back and make a ginormous impact that I think he has the capabilities to make. But I'm not going to deny it. Jokic looks fantastic right now. I never thought he wasn't good. I would put him right on the bubble of 10 and 11 because he is so versatile at the big man position. I mean, he's just one of the best to be doing it right now. He can stretch the floor. He's a phenomenal passer. He has great court vision. He's phenomenal, and it's undeniable. I just think that given what Jimmy Butler has been able to do, and I also think that Jimmy Butler is just historically underrated throughout his time in the NBA. I want to give him his proper credit. Maybe I gave him too much credit, maybe. But we'll have to see because then again, it is the third or fourth game of the season. We have plenty of basketball to still be played.
Right. Connor, to you before I gotta
see my top 10 is shifting left and right, honestly. We don't have enough time for me to go through it.
Yeah, right. But just for Jokic, you think he's probably there at this moment or not?
Oh.
Yeah, no, but Jokic looks great. I got to give him that. He's going to be a triple-double machine this season.
Mm-hmm.
But so will Russell Westbrook. So we will have to see how it shapes out. Like Nick said, there's a lot of basketball to be played.
Yeah.
We're only 3-4 games in. So, but maybe we'll do another 2-hour episode on why my top 10 is shifting because I got a lot to say.
Sean, I think want to say something quick. Hold on.
So I just want to say, while we're watching the Clippers out here, I really, really feel like I'm watching Carson Wentz out there. Kawhi Leonard gets a boo-boo on his lip and has to get a couple stitches, and he's all of a sudden out. And once again, load managing because Kawhi Leonard can't play more than 35 games in a season or he gets too hurt to go on vacation at the end of the season.
We are loving the ranting today. It's very controlled, but it is very passionate. You guys can sense the passion.
Kyrie Irving to the top 10.
No, enough. Kyrie Irving, that's toxic. Don't even get me started. Don't. Just don't get me started.
But yeah. So hopefully Jokic can convince you two morons against the Rockets tonight why he's a top 10 player. Let's preview this game real quick. Everyone just give me your team and one sentence why. Bills are playing the Pats, and we'll get into more football in the next episode, but they're playing tonight. Who's winning and by more than one score or within one score? I'm going to say the Bills by more than one score.
I'm gonna say Bills by more than one score. Pats suck. Go Bills. Plus 100.
Plus 100. Tom?
Wait, Sean or me, Matt? Who
Tom,
you want?
You.
Oh, okay. I would definitely say Bills, not even a question. Patriots look very concerning and should stop playing this season. So, Bills.
Sean, Bills, Pats. How many scores?
I'll
go Nick first. Nick, Bills, Pats. How many scores?
I gotta be honest. This is a stupid question because Bills by more than one score is the no-brainer answer.
The line's only 7. The line's only 7.
7.5.
7.5.
Man, I mean, come on, really?
I'm just telling you what the line is for the country, buddy.
Spread the love, Nick. Plus 100.
Bills W by more than one score. Sean, I pass it to you because I have nothing else to say.
I can't believe I'm saying this. It might be the only time you ever hear me say this.
Here we go. Get the buzzer ready. Get it ready.
But I am rooting for the New England Patriots for once in my life.
Good Lord.
That's not even a hot take. It's just like I can't believe you're doing it.
The New England Patriots are going to win this game on their defense.
Okay, here we go.
And defense alone.
Here we go.
The offense is going to
get
like 100
get out of
yards
the
total.
Zoom, Sean. Get out.
Defense is going to have like 6 pick sixes.
Sean,
You're kidding.
Unbelievable.
Are you?
Josh Allen for MVP.
It's got it.
I would like to say I'm fully rooting for the Patriots because if the Bills lose, the Steelers regain number 2 in the playoffs. So
I fully support that.
Because you have a
Fugazi-
That makes sense. That makes sense.
team.
That'll do it for this episode of Next Man Up. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NextManUp05. Follow the SportsMe and Next Man Up Sports Podcast. Go check out Sean's other podcast, Everything in Moderation podcast. We'll put their link in our description as well for this episode. Go check out Sean, Christian, and Eric. And like and subscribe to our YouTube. Nick, hit the like and subscribe.
Well, of course. Like and subscribe. 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 Thank you.
All right. And have a good one.
Please.
bye.